Chris Watkin here with one of the UK's most well-known estate letting agents, JP, John Paul from Castlederine up north. John, you've come down today to Grantham on the Watkin sofa in the PVS studios to go through your book, Agency Roadmap. And basically we are spending 9 videos on 9 chapters, and I'm basically getting everything from your book for free. Wow, there you
Don't
go.
buy it.
There you go. Okay, so what I'd like to do in this video is talk to me how to systemise an estate and letting agency. Talk to me.
Right. How long have we got? There's 5 ways to. My first book, From Stress to Success, was basically about how to systemize.
Okay, it's all about the bloody op manuals, wasn't it?
It is. It's the 5 processes.
Okay.
It's the 5.
Why is it interesting that people never got time to write an ops manual?
Well, yeah, they haven't got time to write the ops manual, which will get them systemized to give them more time back.
Okay.
It's a bit of a paradox.
So what's the top tips for basically writing your ops manual?
First thing is make time.
What rule? It's simple as just rule the diary out.
Yeah, absolutely. Rule the diary out, prioritise it. So they have got time. Anyone who says I haven't got time to write a manual is absolutely 100% delusional. You're kidding yourself, you're lying to yourself. All you're doing is you're just prioritising other things over writing the manual. So whether that's, things like picking the kids up, going swimming in the morning, setting your KPIs, paying the landlords, doing the marketing, prospecting, you were just prioritising other things other than systemising your business, which is totally cool. It's got nothing to do with me, but just don't lie to yourself when you say you haven't got time to do it. Everyone's got time.
I see the BS when it comes to people doing videos.
It's rubbish. It's I'm not going to swear, but it's not true. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. So what other tips would you give to creating an ops manual? Is it a case of just splitting down the jobs into bite-sized pieces?
Yes, it is that, because it's such a big. Our manual's 330 pages long. It started off 20 pages long, 20 sides long in actual fact. So the thing is, write out the list of the headers of your procedures. And the way we did it was go through what we would call the organic flow of the business. So what is the first thing you do? In the letting agency, it's taking on a property. The landlord says, there you go, there's my property. Write a procedure about that. Then what? Well, making sure it's all compliant and regulatory, carrying out the viewings, taking the application, move a tenant in, arrears, blah, 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 and just go from one to the end.
And just create a document. The
And just
document's going to be huge though, isn't it?
It will be huge, but that's the whole point, because you're going to have different departments will have different procedures in different parts of that document. If you've got an account, if you've got front-end sales, back-end sales, you've got a property management section, if you're an estate agent, you're going to have valuers and listers and sales negs and accompanied viewers, as we call them. So it has to grow as a business.
And do you as the boss have to create this manual?
No, I did the first. When we first came up with the manual, I wrote it. But then as you grow, we've got 60 odd staff now, so my MD writes a lot of it, and then the managers will write part of it themselves.
I bet you've got an ops manual to how to write the ops manual.
We've got a procedure on how to write a procedure, and you'd be disappointed if I didn't.
We certainly would. With regard to, I know you do a lot of coaching and mastermind with agents on how to do this. One thing that whenever I've been on one of your masterminds is you say the ops manual is designed to make yourself redundant. What do you mean by that?
So the perfect way to write an operations manual is to take you out of the business. If you don't take you out of the business and you're integral to it, then if you come to exit it or you come to buy the business, someone wants to buy the business, it's not worth the value.
But agents always say that no one can do the job better than they can. What's all that about?
It's quite egotistical, really, isn't it?
Okay.
If anybody thinks they're the best person on this planet doing what they do, then they're just full of themselves.
And then the other bit is that I'm too busy doing the job. I haven't got time to train the staff.
Well, they have got time to train the staff, but going back to my first comment, they're just prioritising other things.
Okay, so let's just say you create this manual and you get buy-in from the staff. How do you then follow that up to make sure that you close the loop to ensure that it is being done?
Well, just to reiterate, the writing a manual is 20% of how to systemise your business. There's another 4 parts. So then you train and develop the staff. So in a nutshell, it's going through, showing them what they have to do, recording it to make sure that they understand what they have to do and when they've got to do it, and using smart objectives, all that sort of stuff. Then you've got to audit the business. So you've got to make sure they're doing what they say they're doing. So it's a little bit like when you're back at school. If your teacher sat you down and said, right guys, we're going to learn about Henry VIII and the Tudors. However, you're not going to get an exam and you're not going to get a test. Don't worry about it. Would you have stuck in as much as what you exactly? So basically, the audit is the exam. So it's on a monthly basis. We check their work to make sure it's up to standard, it's up to the procedures. We've then got to feed back the results of that audit, because there's no point having it and keeping it yourself. And then depending on what the results are, you've got to review. Because if things go wrong, it's only one of two things. It's a people issue or it's a process issue. That's it. It can't be anything else. If it's a process issue, you've got to update the process. If it's a people issue, it's then broke down to a skill or a will, which you've heard me talk about.
Oh.
Does that person need additional training to get them up to standard? Or is it a motivational issue why they've chosen not to follow it? And by the way, anybody that says, I don't have the time, they've chosen not to adhere to that procedure.
Okay. And let's just say you get to the bottom of it and you find out why. What are the root causes normally why something doesn't happen?
It's normally born idleness. So when somebody chooses not to do something, it's their priorities again. So you've got a root cause analysis is actually go back down asking the 5 whys. Why didn't this happen? Right. Well, why? Well, why? Well, why? 5 times to get to the very, very bottom of why something didn't happen. And 99 times out of 100, it's down to people just choosing not to follow the procedure.
Because I'm just reading the book here, you basically teach people that you must write down all the basic procedures in your letting agency, a contents list, start at the beginning and make it chronological, which is the guide, which is basically creating a step-by-step process. Write an idiot's guide on how to do certain actions, focus on time-bound objectives and who has to do what action, audit, which is the test, use procedures to come up with a list of what needs to be carried out and use this as a basic audit procedure, decide when the audit will take place, be unemotional about auditing. That's a killer one.
Yeah, it is, yeah. If you start bringing emotion into it, like people said, oh, well, I just didn't have enough time, or I got called away here, or I got called away there, that's why I didn't carry it out. When you manage people, you have to take your emotion out of it. You manage on performance, not emotion.
I mean, there's a lot of detail in this book. I mean, what else can people do with you even if they get this book? Other books are available. You also help people on mentoring and mentorship.
Coaching,
yes. And you basically take this and take it to the next level.
Implement everything into their business. So everything in the book where you help them, don't do it for you. It's teach a person to fish or give them a fish. We want people to be able to be better business people. So if anybody needs any help or just wants to pick my brains, just give me a call.
Well, that's section 3. Let's now move on to section 4, part 4, where we talk about training your estate agency staff. Thanks very much.